Hello and welcome back again. So today's topic is agentic AI and workflow. And before we start, there's a quick shout out to Proflead YouTube channel, which is run by Vladislav, a PhD candidate, Open Codex ambassador, and a developer focused on practical AI tools and coding workflows, and the developer and focusing on developer productivity. And if you are interested in having hands-on tutorial which will make you help learn faster and work smarter with AI tools, then please check out this YouTube channel. And if you kindly subscribe this channel so that you will get quick notifications if whenever he drops practical tutorial videos on AI tools and workflows. So let's get back to the video. So our topic is today agentic AI and versus workflows. So why most of the AI agents you see online are fake, means fake in the sense they are not actually an AI agent. Why I'm saying so? There's a label problem. Actually, in LinkedIn we used to see I built an AI agent that runs my entire business. So this agent automatically handles all customer support, all queries, and all queries related to that particular product, not in general, that particular product. And it thinks on its own, take actions. Let's say if a customer query is there's a bug in website, then that particular agent is going to not only answer that customer that yeah, you are facing bugs, we are sorry for that, it will be get fixed by some time. Along with that, it is going to fix that bug on its own. That is AI agent. Okay, so the AI agent that automatically thinks, acts, and validates its own response, that is AI agent. And what is workflow then, will you will come to know on the go. So most of what's called is AI agent today is really fixed with the workflow wearing a costume. Okay, so nowadays many students will get confused that let's say I built an workflow. Actually, I built a workflow, they call it as an agent because it is doing some part of our business work. Let's say let's take an example. Recently I posted a workflow on my LinkedIn account that is on insurance claiming process. So that insurance claiming process is quite lengthy for some customers. So what I did is I created a workflow, not an agent. It is a workflow, it is going to perform a certain steps, right? So that is a workflow I built. So what actually is workflow? Let's come to that point. So it is a predetermined, right? It is predetermined, you decide steps. Let's say user inputs something, then we have a LLM call, then we have some fixed logic, something else, and again we go to some another LLM. So let's say initially we called OpenAI, then we call Claude, then we call Grok, and then we finally deliver the output. So there might be a conditional branching also. So but most of this branching is written by us. So our workflow is not going beyond this workflow. So there might be some conditional branching, there might be some parallel branching that we used to build in N8N workflows, and also the LangGraph stuff. So there we used to have some tool calling, some that are all stuff, that is simple workflow, right? So this is not an agent because it is not going to think beyond this workflow. It is restricted, right? And because it is still useful, because just not AI agentic, calling it is an agent is marketing, not an architecture. Okay, so nowadays it's become marketing stuff. So they build some workflow, they call themselves an I built an AI agent, but actually it is an automated workflow. In a workflow, if you just use an LLM, that doesn't mean it is an AI agent. So what actually is an AI agent, what actually is truly agentic AI we call? So this is model driven, and there is a loop running in this. So what agent used to do is it used to observe, then it used to reason, then it used to act, then it used to decide what to do. So for example, coding agents, let's take consider coding agent as example. Let's consider Codex particularly. Okay, Codex is a coding agent. If I ask it, so build an Flutter application, let's say if I ask is build a mobile application that will run on both Android and iOS. So it will observe first, analyze the user's query, what it is. Okay, then it is going to ask, would you like to build this in Flutter, or would you like to build this in Kotlin multi-platform? It will ask us, so it will use human in loop. I say, let's go with Flutter. Okay, so then in Flutter it is going to again decide what to build, means deciding the application name, naming convention, folder architecture, and then it will act. It just not only think and reason to you and complete this flow, it is also going to act. It is going to build that application, run it, debug it. In fact, it can use it. I recently explored something. I connected an Android emulator to Claude. Okay, I asked it to fix a bug where when I scroll through video, I am getting a black screen and then video starts to play. So there's some issue with AV player. Okay, what Claude did is it ran the application, and in fact it recorded the screen of this mobile. So this device was connected to my Mac. So it ran the application and it took screenshots of it and analyzed those and fixed that bug within 10 minutes. Okay, if I was sitting and fixing it, so it will take a lot of time. So this is an AI agent, not an workflow. So this is the main core difference. And let's give a real example. I just gave you one, so here is another one, a fixed pipeline. So sequence of agent is hard coded, same path runs for every claim, and it is predictable but rigid. Okay, this is about workflow, that is a fixed pipeline. And then when we come to agentic AI agent, so that is nothing but I just took an example of Claude here. That is the same thing written. Routing to the next agent decides dynamically. Okay, and ambiguous extraction changes which agent runs next. Okay, then fraud check agents can request more data before proceeding, and path only makes sense after seeing the output. Okay, so it is going to analyze its own output and then fix it. Or obviously it is a loop running task. Also in Claude there's a new update recently. They gave goal setting, so all now we don't need to give a lengthy prompt. We have to just give him it a goal and mention the goal, what I want to achieve this feature. Let's say I want to build Instagram clone. I just give slash clone goal is our Instagram clone. That's it. It is going to run the application. If we keep connected an emulator or simulator, it is going to run, take screenshots, fix the bugs, and make the application production grade with a single prompt or a goal. Okay, and why everyone fakes it, means people used to build workflow and call it as an agent. And in fact, I have seen some some freelancers who build workflows but sell it as a AI agent. And once a buyer buys it, when he sees the code, so it's a simple workflow, right? So that kinds of things are going on. Okay, so that's the stuff I want to talk in this video. So the 3 question test, apply this anything labeled an agentic. Okay, I just added, so this might help you. So can it take a different number of steps depending on the input? So whenever you confused, when you see the application, whether it is an AI agent or an AI workflow. So okay, AI agent and AI workflow we used to confuse. So every time you see an AI product, you just need to ask 3 questions to yourself. Number one, can it take a different number of steps depending on the input? So based on the user input, can it take different steps, means is it dynamic? And number two, can it call tools it wasn't explicitly sequenced to call from that cases, means can it call some sort of tools and multiple tools, sometimes web search, sometimes designing skills, sometimes it calls Figma, it may call MCP server, so like that thing. And can it decide it's done early or loop back and try something else, means it finishes some work and it is going to analyze that output and it loop backs if that isn't perfect, it loop backs and again works again and again just like a human being. Is it so these things you need to ask yourself, and then you will categorize whether it is an AI agent or AI workflow. So um all these three things you need to check. Okay, if everything is S and you come to know this is a agentic behavior. Okay, so if the 3 points should be there to call an AI application to be an agent. Okay, the honest takeaway: the most products don't need a true agent. Workflows are more reliable, cheaper, and easier to ship 9 times out of 10. Okay, because building a workflow is not a big deal nowadays. So if you are coder, you can go with langgraph and langchain langsmith and build a simple workflow. And if you are non-coder, you can go with na10 and you can build their agentic workflows there also. And many businesses doesn't require an AI agent. Their work can be done with simple workflow, then go for it. It is not restricted that you must use AI agent. So it depends on business to business and depends on the goal that particular business want to achieve. So we need to identify the problem, what actually we are facing the problem, or what thing we should automate. So we should not act on the thing we are saying, the fancy words, AI workflow, agentic AI, gen AI. These words seems to be fancy, but these words doesn't make sense if their business doesn't require those stuff, because business runs on profit and losses. We need to take which is cheaper and which is perfect, cheap and best. Okay, I know cheap and best doesn't exist much in most cases, but we just need to save a single penny. If we can save a single penny, that is a lot when it considered to long term. Okay, that's what I was hoping to make you understand. I hope you like the content, and if you have any some content suggestions, please drop a comment, and make sure you check proflead YouTube channel as well, and the link is given in the description. Have a good day. Bye bye.